Wall Street Journal has a big splashy piece out. How the White House functioned with a diminished Biden in charge. Long article. I didn't read the whole thing because it's old news. Even though it was published yesterday, it's pretty old news, isn't it? Breaking, Joe Biden has dementia. Oh, gee, you don't say. What year am I? Did I fall into a coma? What year am I in? This is an article coming out December 19th, 2024. Subheader, aides kept meetings short and controlled access. Top advisors acted as go-betweens and public interactions became more scripted. The administration denied Biden has declined. Great, thanks for this report. Where was this report 6 months ago during the presidential race? Where was this report a year ago? 2 years ago? Where was this report in 2020 when Biden was clearly in decline even then? I didn't see this report. Don't forget, the Wall Street Journal has a relatively conservative editorial page, but in terms of the news reporters, kind of left-wing, just like all of the establishment media. Where was that? Where were you, media, when I needed you? Where were you, journalists, when it mattered to uncover that Biden has dementia? It's not just the Journal. Chris Cillizza, formerly of CNN, a journalist who is actually better than the usual crop of the left-wing journalists. But here's what he had to say. Here's his mea culpa on not digging into Biden's dementia.
As a reporter, I have a confession to make. I should have pushed harder earlier for more information about Joe Biden's mental and physical well-being and any signs of decline. So let me explain. Joe Biden was president from 2020 to 2024. I worked at CNN through 2022. During that time, the early part when I was at CNN, 2020 to 2022, Republicans would regularly ping me and say, why don't you ask more questions to Joe Biden and how he's doing? He's 76, 77, 78-year-old man. And I would sort of brush them off because what I would say is, well, there's no obvious evidence that he's declining. Yeah, he moves a little slower, he talks a little slower, but there's no evidence that he's declining.
He walks a little slower, talks a little slower. That would be evidence that he's declining. But it's a little more than that. I appreciate that Cillizza is doing a minor, tiny little mea culpa here. I think we need a little bit of a bigger mea culpa. Oh, there was no evidence. There's no evidence. The guy was babbling. He'd be staring incoherently. The guy looked like he was drooling. He was stiff as a board when he was walking around. He couldn't remember the name of God. You remember that? One nation under, you know the thing. I understand Joe Biden was never the sharpest tool in the shed, but he used to at least be a kind of a slick talker. Ever since he left the Obama White House, he has not been his old self. And so Cillizza admits here, he says, I brushed off those concerns. But, I shouldn't have done that. Anyway, here's my confession. Okay, good confession. But you need repentance when you confess. And you need to ask forgiveness. And then you can receive absolution. But we got to go all the way here. I don't want to read these reports. Wow, breaking, Joe Biden was diminished and the White House lied about it. I need you there when the White House is lying. That's when I need you there. But you don't want to do that, or CNN didn't want you to do that, and the liberal media don't want you to do that, because the liberal media don't exist to ask tough questions of liberal politicians. The liberal media exist to act as the propaganda arm for the liberal politicians. The media didn't just accidentally miss that story. They didn't just, out of innocent neglect, forget to report on that story. They covered up Biden's decline just as much as the White House did. They're totally culpable in it. And so now even some of the White House aides, they're coming out. And the Journal reporting as though, this is some great journalistic find. No, you're all admitting that you lied. Anyone who was not speaking openly about Biden's senility, they're all kind of the same. The White House staff, the campaign staff, the journalists, Kamala Harris. You're admitting you actively lied to us. So the question is, why should we keep trusting you guys? That was a great clip. Stop now. Stop. Whoa. Ring the bell. Subscribe to the Michael Knowles YouTube channel. Thank you. See you next time.